David Norris Brenner was an American stand-up comedian, actor and author. The most frequent guest on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in the 1970s and 1980s, Brenner was a pioneer of observational comedy. Early life: Brenner was born to Jewish parents in 1936 and raised in poor areas of South and West Philadelphia. His father, Louis, was a vaudeville comedian, singer and dancer performing under the stage name of Lou Murphy, who gave up his career and a film contract, in order to please Brenner's grandfather, a rabbi, who objected to his working on the Sabbath. Once he became successful, Brenner would regularly send his parents on cruises, and both of Brenner's parents would eventually die at advanced ages while on cruises aboard the QE2, approximately 2 years apart. After high school, Brenner spent 2 years in the U.S. Army, serving in the 101st Airborne and as a cryptographer of the 595th Signal Corps in Bar-Paragraph-Blingen, Germany. After being discharged, he attended Temple University, where he majored in mass communication and graduated with honors. Career: Brenner was a writer, director or producer of 115 television documentaries and headed the documentary units of Westinghouse Broadcasting and Metro Media, winning nearly 30 awards including an Emmy, before moving to comedy. His first paid gig was at the Improv in June 1969, and following that he frequently performed at clubs in Greenwich Village. After making his national television debut in 1971, on The Tonight Show, he became the show's most frequent guest, with 158 appearances. He guest hosted for Johnny Carson 75 times between 1975 and 1984, placing him 5th on the list of Carson's most frequent guest hosts. Brenner was ranked number 53 on Comedy Central Presents 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Time. At one point, he had appeared more often on major TV talk shows than any other entertainer. He also wrote 5 books, and starred in 4 HBO specials. Brenner released the comedy album Excuse Me, Are You Reading That Paper? On MCA Records in 1983. Brenner also penned 5 books including Soft Pretzels with Mustard, Revenge is the Best Exercise, Nobody Ever Sees You Eat Tuna Fish, If God Wanted Us to Travel, and I Think There's a Terrorist in My Soup, How to Survive Personal and World Problems with Laughter Euro Seriously, which was also released as 2 audiobooks. Brenner was the star of the 1976 TV series Snip, which was inspired by the film Shampoo and set in a hairdressing salon. The situation comedy was cancelled by NBC before it aired due to its inclusion in the supporting cast of what would have been one of the first gay characters in an American situation comedy. He also played a charity ball auctioneer in the 1989 romantic comedy Worth Winning. In 1986, King World Entertainment gave Brenner his own 30-minute syndicated late-night talk show, Nightlife, in an attempt to compete with Carson, but it was cancelled after 1 season. The show premiered September 8, 1986, on 102 stations and was touted as alternative. Filmed in Manhattan and featuring a casually dressed Brenner, it was unique among the late-night talk genre for not having a monologue. It gave some comedians, such as Bobby Slayton, their national television premieres. In addition to The Tonight Show, Brenner also appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show, The David Frost Show, The Mike Douglas Show, Late Night and The Late Show with David Letterman, Real Time with Bill Maher and The Daily Show, and was a frequent guest on The Howard Stern Show. In later years he appeared on both MSNBC and Fox News Channel shows commenting on current events. The broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia named Brenner their Person of the Year in 1984 and inducted him into their Hall of Fame in 2003. From 1994 to 1996, Brenner hosted a talk radio program, taking over the time slot of the long-running Larry King Show on the Mutual Broadcasting System. He had earlier hosted a syndicated weekly radio show, David Brenner Live, for 3 months in 1985. His friend, Richard Lewis, described Brenner as the king of hip, observational comedy. Personal life and death: Brenner had 3 children: Cole, Slade and Wyatt. He and the mother of Cole, his first son, fought a custody battle for several years. Brenner finally won child custody in 1992. because family courts would have regarded him as an absentee father if he were away from home more than 50 nights a year. Brenner substantially reduced the number of appearances in his stand-up comedy work, including performances on The Tonight Show, in order to secure and maintain custody of his son. Brenner married Elizabeth Slater of New York, the mother of his sons Slade and Wyatt, in the closing minutes of his Live from the Venetian Hotel HBO special recorded in Las Vegas, on February 19, 2000. They divorced a little over a year later and also then fought 2 custody battles, both of which Brenner won. Brenner was engaged to Ty Babylonia in 2005, but they never married. For a while in the 2000s, Brenner lived in Las Vegas and socialized with fellow comedians. Brenner died on March 15, 2014, at age 78 from cancer at his Manhattan home. He is survived by his wife Ruth, his 3 sons, and his grandson Wesley. References. External links: David Brenner at the Internet Movie Database, David Brenner on visitpar.com sharing what he likes to do in Philly, David Brenner at the Comedy Hall of Fame, Broadcast Pioneers of Philadelphia website, Night Times a Bit. David Brenner on Comedy Then and Now interview on YouTube.